What's going on, everyone? My name is Boyd and I'm going to bring you a top level game today between Hell's Ravage and Highlander. Spawning in the right of the map in the red colour playing Zeus is Hell's Ravage. His opponent today in the blue colour on the left side of the map playing Isis is Highlander. Exciting times because both of these players are indeed playing their main gods, or at least what I think their main gods are. I know Hell's plays a lot of random gods, so it's very hard to select a main god for him. However, back in the day before he got so good, he played primarily Zeus, so one can assume that he knows the ins and outs of Zeus, and he's going to give us a good strategy today that we can sit down and look at and be impressed by. Highlander, on the other hand, pretty much plays 100% Isis and is really good at it as well, as hopefully we'll be able to see in this game. Looks like it might be able to turn out into a half decent game, seeing as there are some nice gold mines here for the Isis player. Well, there's one nice gold mine here. It's almost in range of tower, so a Migdol should be able to be planted up here fairly safely, even with a wall as well, a couple of priests, and that would be secured with those free myth units on top of that. There's also a fair bunch of giraffe for both players. Yes, there is 4 giraffe for both players in reasonable locations. I would call Highlanders a little bit better, obviously because they are so close to the first food resource as opposed to where Hell's is. However, we can see that the zebra are kind of screwed for Highlander, whereas Hell's has found them straight in his line of sight. So therefore, one can assume that food is quite even at the moment, and like that, basically the map is nice for both players. I wouldn't call it screwed for either one, except for maybe the amount of gold mines closer to Highlander rather than Hell's. However, he is Zeus. He should be able to maintain this gold mine and this gold mine fairly easily if he so needs to. And you only really need 2 gold mines to get to the late game if you play it correctly. In which I expect expert players to do so. Yeah, strategically I wouldn't be surprised to see Highlander just go straight to the heroic age. He can wall off this location, he can wall in this location here, and no form of aggression from Hell's is going to really do anything. As we see, Hell's now managing to spot that priest right here. He's going to be dealing a bit of damage here. The priest will get back to base safely. He might want to also build another priest in order to heal him up before he sends him back out, or perhaps he can just send him over to this location or this location over here in order to keep him safe and just obelisk up a little bit. As Hell's now on the scout for some more herdables. It's quite nice to see that he's seen everything that he really needs to see. The Ankh of Ra is going to be powerful for Zeus player, especially if he decides to go for Hermes style with centaurs. That can really diffuse a classical fight or even assist in gold starving. It's really strong at defeating the initial Ancestors Eclipse. I think you only need 5 centaurs with perfect micro. You can pick off minions without losing any damage. Basically, it's that strong. We can see that Hell's, however, is putting 4 villages on gold, which is going to indicate to me that he wants to go Hippicons or some form of cavalry with. I doubt he'll go centaurs with 4 villages on gold, just because there's little point. Like, you're not going to gain anything by putting that 4th villager on gold unless you want that extra gold income earlier in order to get those Hippicon going. And it looks like he doesn't even have pickaxe yet, so a little bit inefficient on his behalf in my opinion, seeing as he had so much hunt. He could have had pickaxe. He has the wood, just doesn't have the food. He didn't really structure his economy quite nice enough. He is going to be advancing at 515, which means he could have husbandry, he could have pickaxe, and he could have 1 more villager. So a little bit of indecisiveness of build order by Hell's, but that's okay. We look at Highlander. Highlander hasn't even thought about advancing. Well, he has. He's got 400 food. He should be able to advance right up to this village was created if he so chooses to. He's probably got pickaxe. He doesn't even have pickaxe, which is a little bit interesting. Looks like his wood income has been delayed due to the fact he's had to start off chickens. and he hasn't found that back zebra yet. It was just out of LOS for that little scout that he did over there, just not enough. And he doesn't know that Hells had Hunt at his start. Well, I mean, he should have seen the score jump at the start, but it's not 100% accurate all the time, so he doesn't really know that Hunt was there for the start, so he's not searching over here, which is the only spot which Hunt can possibly be. It would not have any harm in just sending one goat over there to search it around. However, the scout of Hell's now going to be spotting that the Hunt hasn't been taken. He can now take advantage of that. He knows that Highlander is going to be strapped for food. What can he do against that food? He can make sure he pushes off any outside food like these berry bushes, and he can just sort of contain and force Highlander into an uneconomic fast heroic where he's going to be struggling to find that gold and that food and that wood, of course, as well, because he's so strapped for food. He needs to have more villages on food in order to sort of get that gold mine. However, he has walled in this location like I said so in the beginning of the game. He's also housed in over here. Another wall over here will make this, well, I mean, there doesn't really need to be a wall. It's fairly safe as it is, but a couple of centaurs could run straight through here and take out some of those villages. Hells is in the classical edge, and he's grabbing that settlement. So it looks like I need to take back everything I said about Hells' build order. He was actually, in fact, going for a fast second town center. So the pickaxe and the hand axe and the husbandry are all delayed until I didn't actually see when he bought them, but he may have delayed them so he can get that initial settlement up and then purchase them, or he may have got them at a later time in order to make sure he's got that town center up. I'm sure there's a way to buy pickaxe and husbandry before you hit classical age. You can get it really early and then also afford that town center. However, Hells chose not to do that for whichever reason possible. The Sphinx now going to be coming in, probably going to be able to harass that villager though. Odysseus is coming out, and we see the Sphinx going to be running away. Doesn't want any of that shit happening. Obelisk now going to be taken down by Hells, just picking off any line of sight that Highland has on the map. Looks like Prosperity going down, Armory just about to finish up, going to be hitting the heroic age about 8 minutes and 5 seconds. It does take 1 minute to research the heroic age technology, and interesting to see that Highland has actually managed to gather food off here, and he's getting the gold up there without a pharaoh empowering it. Interesting decision making by Highlander. I can't exactly tell you why, and also Highlander's got very little villages on wood, which means he's going to be wanting to do some sort of I would suggest he wants to do camels, because that would be a nice counter to the Hippicon. However, he might be choosing to transfer a bunch of villages onto wood a little bit later, and seeing what he can do there. However, there's literally there's like next to no villages anywhere. Like, he's only got gold going for him. He did purchase that Hands of the Pharaoh upgrade, so these priests going to have a little bit more range in order to deal some of that damage. And again, he's still empowering food, so I'm just interested to see what he's choosing to do here. Is he actually, he's not going straight to the Mythic Age. He won't be able to get there for quite some time. He's sort of just building these priests and like sort of turtling up a little bit. Hells, on the other hand, strapped for food, but he is producing villages out of both of these town centers, and he's also auto-queuing Hippicon, so he's going to be quite fine economically. If he can prevent the ISIS player from doing anything too crazy, he should be okay. It looks like Highlander actually going for this town center first, which I really don't like. It's going to leave him quite open to getting gold stars, because the town center doesn't grab any map control at all. All it does is gets in that economic ability. But if you see this gold mine's only got 400 gold left, he's going to have the gold to plant the mid-gold down. However, he's not going to have that. He's wasting 100 food and 400 gold on this town center. It's not securing anything, it's just going to get him more economy later in the game. But if he's not alive later in the game, it doesn't really matter. Granted, he does still have Ancestors Eclipse, so he's probably just banking on using that to get that gold mine, which isn't a bad thing by no stretch of the imagination. However, there are always better uses for it than simply just securing a second gold mine if you so have to. Looks like farms now getting thrown up, so he's even sinking more gold into economy instead of into securing gold lines. So we'll see what he actually managed to do with what he's got so far. Bolt going down there on that Scorpion Man, nice use of Bolt. He's going to be able to probably pick off this Pharaoh if he micros it correctly, and he does get a special shot off onto the Sphinx with that Centaur, and the Pharaoh does manage to get away. Hells is going to have to retreat out of here. Might be able to do a little bit more damage on that Sphinx, but in the end he did lose one Hippocon for nothing. And also, wow, that Hands of the Pharaoh upgrade managing to pick off that Centaur quite nicely, and they're just going to heal back up, and basically it's going to feel like nothing happened apart from that bolt on that Scorpion Man. And Hell's sitting on 3 town centers now, not going to be able to do much in terms of preventing anything from happening at this point, because he's banking on that economy from those 3 town centers. If we look at Hell's economy right now, I'd love to see the village accounts. I'm going to look at the post game right now. If we see economy, he's actually currently 9 villages ahead, and at the moment 9 villages, it doesn't sound like a lot, it really doesn't. But if you were to check back 1 minute, 2 minutes later, that 9 villages ahead is going to turn into something more like 18 villages ahead or 20 villages ahead, and that sounds like a lot. It looks like, oh, nice micro by Hell is going to be trading adjacent for a Sphinx right there, when that Sphinx easily could have been saved. And it looks like Hell's going to be getting a little bit aggressive here. Wants to force an Ancestor's Eclipse. Odysseus in the fray as well, going to be focusing down that Scorpion Man, making sure he doesn't do that much damage. Medium Hippocon really being able to tank a bunch of damage from that Watchtower, which doesn't have crenellations and those Migdol strongholds. Looks like Hell's is also at the Toxodos in the back, barreling down onto those priests. He's definitely going to have to use the Ancestor's Eclipse here if he wants to secure this gold mine, which he really needs. If we look at Highlander's economy right now, he's only got 150 gold left. He's got 1,000 wood, so he does not want to not lose this gold mine, but the longer he lets this go on, the harder it's going to be to secure it, even with Ancestors. I mean, there is only one Odysseus here. Jason is not in the fray, but more army coming in here after, like, it's just going to keep on coming in, and a bunch of villages getting picked up. Ancestors Eclipse finally getting thrown down in the last second possible, before more villages get picked off. I really don't like that decision making by Highlander. He just lost way too many units, and Hells is just going to get out of here scot free. He's going to run through this wooden wall, going to lose next to no units except for this Odysseus, which is a sacrifice enough for a heroic age god power. It looks like Highlander's going to try and surround this before he gets back, but I don't think it's going to be able to happen. He might pick up 1 or 2 more Toxotos, if that. It looks like the villagers are already over here in order to repair this, and there we go, 3 Toxotos, 4 Toxotos, maybe 4 Toxotos he managed to pick off there with that Ancestors. So incredibly good use of army there by Hells. Highlander just not going to be able to do much with those Ancestors, and Hell's economy right now booming out of control. 19 villages on food, 19 villages on wood, 20 villages on gold, and 1 villager on favor. That's like equivalent. That's 60 villages that he's got. And if we check it again right now, economy, he's actually, instead of being 9 villages ahead, looking at that, is that 22 villages ahead? Yeah. He's actually 22 villages ahead right now. So that 9 villages ahead, that lead he had earlier, it's just skyrocketed now. Hell's economy is ridiculously powerful at the moment, and Highlander just, he can't do anything to stop it. He's got the one town center going, he's got this other town center going. So right now he's going to be in this point where, if he doesn't get any good raids off, he's going to have to be on the defensive. He cannot afford to lose units, he can't afford to do anything. He has to micro to the best of his ability and be attempting to lose as little units as possible. Little does Hells know, this gold mine at the top getting mined freely right now. There's not even a Migdol protecting it. He would really love to know about that, but he does not have map hacks on, he does not know, and he's just going to be trying to barrel through this location here, trying to take down this gate, but he's going to be losing a bunch of Hippocon here. Exactly what Highlander wants in order to deal with this army. Look at all those Hippocon dying there. He's got 5 left, and the rest is only these pathetic Toxotos. A little bit of dancing here with the camera, dodging that Toxoto fire. Really, really cute by Highlander there. Intelligent play. If I think it's 5.5 speed, if you have a unit greater than 5.5 speed, they actually dodge arrows. So I really like that play by Highlander, choosing to micro those units in order to prevent any damage coming down. But again, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, there's so many units that Hells can make with that economy. I mean, he's got 1k gold. His economy balance isn't the greatest, but he just has so many units. I wouldn't be afraid for him to just switch off maybe 7 of those villages over onto wood at this point, just because that's probably what he needs in order to transfer more villages to food. But it looks like he's going to be trying to get to that heroic age right now. Probably going to go through Apollo in order to jump around the map a little bit easier. A Dionysus push might win him the game, but Apollo just, I don't know, that utility that the Underworld gives is just unparalleled. It's just really strong. And we're going to be seeing Hell's just sort of pushing in and running away, pushing in and running away. I wouldn't mind to see how much. Yeah, there we go. He's now 30, well, it's 23 villages still. He's not that far ahead anymore in village count, but he has maxed out villages, so he can start the market trade route up in this top left, sorry, just the north corner of the map, and then get even further ahead economically. I really hope he has been grabbing upgrades, and he hasn't. So he's throwing away his economic advantage here. Running these units in, he's losing units, which means he has to replace them, which means he can't purchase more economic upgrades. Sure, he's picking off a bunch of units, which is really good for Hells. However, he's losing a lot himself. I mean, you see there, he's lost all these units. There's a bunch of chariot archers now on the field, and basically Hells has to retreat here. He can't fight this army. He's got the economy, but he can't fight the army. He really needs to upgrade that economy in order to get it more rolling, in order to play to the late game, or some form of that like that. So Hell's now hitting Apollo. I wouldn't be surprised to see him spamming a bunch of Manticore in order to deal with this chariot archer ball, just because the special attack really devastates an archer ball because they're so tightly compacted. Highland now throwing up Migdol, getting a little bit aggressive here, wants to secure this gold mine as well. Oh, Hell's throwing down Ceasefire, knows he's not going to be using it for any sneaky plays, because we can see that actually he could have cast Underworld here, taken out this location, Seaside, and grabbed that town center if he so chose. So I don't know how much I like this Ceasefire. But maybe, but it looks like Hell's just going to skip the heroic age completely and go straight for the mythic age, which makes it even more confusing that he's throwing this ceasefire down. It would have made much more sense to sort of save it in order to prevent like the opponent killing him while he's going to the heroic age, mythic age, sorry. And if his opponent doesn't attack him, he can then get that Colossus out, get a couple more Colossus out. He's sitting on 90 favor, and then Underworld that back town center, take that town center out, win the game. However, he's choosing not to. The ceasefire gonna prevent this Migdol going up for a short amount of time, but it's still gonna go up regardless when this ceasefire is up. There's not much that Hells can do to stop it. He has set these Hippocon in here, but they're not gonna do much. They're just gonna die instantly. You can see that they're just sort of grabbing that target fire. I'm not exactly sure if I like what Hells is doing here. I mean, he's got the army out of position. However, he is going to the mythic age. At this point, you don't want to be throwing units away. You kind of want to be saving them so you can upgrade them and use them more efficiently. You have built them, so why choose to build them again when you can have them more powerful at the same time? And he also has little to no armory upgrades, which is not a great thing. He has got that Hephaestus armory upgrade, which you can get as soon as he hits the mythic age. He's only got one armory though. You might want to consider throwing down 2 or 3 more, sorry, 2 more in order to get those those armory upgrades. Again, looks like everything I've said Hells hasn't done. He is going mythic age. He's going to be probably spamming some Colossus. Is he going for, or is he instantly purchasing that other upgrade? He's not doing anything. He's going Colossus heavy. He's got 1 temple up, 2 temples up, but he's only producing 1 Colossus. I wonder where all that other, yeah, he got the Forges of the Olympus. So this fight doesn't make sense. This fight doesn't make sense because in 2 minutes time he will have every single upgrade known to man, and then be able to push in and win so easily it's not funny. But instead he's choosing to fight, throw away all these units, have all of these units having to pop out of these auto-queued buildings, not have the economy to purchase all these upgrades, and instead of having all upgrades in 2 minutes, he's going to have some more upgrades in 2 minutes, but he's not going to have these line upgrades, he's not going to be champion units, and he's sort of just foiling that advantage he has. I mean, he's got the advantage, and it looks like he's not going to lose it anytime soon, because Highlander just has to hit the Mythic Age and start getting those Thoth elements pumping out in order to deal with all of these units here, or through Osiris to deal with the Colossus with mummies. But regardless, he needs to be Mythic Age to deal with this. Hell's just, I don't know, if he doesn't win here, he might be throwing away that advantage which he worked so hard to gather. A couple of these priests here, they don't have funeral rites, so they're basically going to be doing nothing. Belleroth, I'm going to be running here, going to be able to jump straight onto them. Look at that, does ridiculous amounts of damage. Going to pick them straight off. Also picking off one of those Scorpion Men. He's running away now. Bellerophon does have a ridiculous amount of speed. It is 6.00, so they can dodge arrows as well. Looks like a temple getting thrown up wants to prevent those Colossus from doing anything. I really want to see fortified town centers getting thrown up as well. You can sell some of that food for gold and then grab that fortified town center. He does have 34 villages on for gold right now, but nothing is gathering. I would assume that's because he doesn't have full upgrades. He does have the resources to grab that heroic age mining upgrade, but he's just choosing not to, perhaps because he wants to get the fortified town centers, which hasn't grabbed yet. Who knows? Highlander has now advanced through to the Mythic Age Osiris. He's got that mummy out, so he's definitely going to be able to pick off one of those Colossi, but he has to be careful because he might get that Son of Osiris surrounded if he's got no units to back it up. Nice mummy special ability, whatever you call it, ancestor. I wish there were names for those abilities so I could actually say them, but there aren't. And look at that Bellerophon jumping onto that Son of Osiris. He basically just did like 100 damage to him. So overpowered. And look, if the jump's already up, if he just micros a little bit here, he can jump, do another 100 damage, and that Son of Osiris is already half dead. But he's just choosing to follow it, probably not microing to the best of his ability there. He's focusing on doing something else. Probably just taking this location. He actually is towering over here to prevent any sort of trade route coming up. He doesn't realize the trade route is over here. That actually does realize it. Don't know why. He's throwing towers up over here, just probably for the late game. Getting ready for that. Hell's now just has to run over here and prevent this from happening, and then that's no gold left, no income left for Highlander. Actually, there we go. That's really smart. Throwing those watchtowers up, preventing this gold mine from getting taken. Fortress going up as well. This gold mine is never going to get taken. Wall now coming up for Hell's Ravage, and the army of Highlander just so small. He's sitting on 89 population, 100, not almost 2k food though. He can sell some of that and get those units coming back out for that last push in order to deal with shit. But it looks like all those villages are going to be picked off as well. Hells has an army over here to deal with whatever Highlander tries to prove, but that's about it. And it looks like he might just sit over here and pick off all these camel caravans if he so chooses to do so. Horse is going to come up now. He's going to start pumping out some of those Heliopoli in order to pick off that town center. But really, the game looks like it's pretty close to over. There's not much that Highlander can do. He doesn't have that many units. The Camarilla aren't really going to be able to deal with heavy Hippicon. They need to be heavy themselves to deal with heavy Hippicon. The bonus damage that they get is not enough. They only have 9 damage compared to 14, and the 137 HP just isn't enough. You can see them trading pretty poorly as well. You can see how little damage they had. It was tagging by 3 for a couple of seconds there, and just nothing happened. I wouldn't be surprised to see some towers getting thrown up now, but there's nothing of that sort happening just yet. Villagers coming over here now, going to try and mine a little bit, but having Myrmidon into the fray, that basically spells GG for any ISIS player who doesn't have an economy rolling. You need Axemen, and you need a lot of them, because they get picked off so easily by the Toxotos. But yeah, that's basically that. All these villages are going to get picked off over here. They're not going to gather that much gold. The Son of Osiris now sitting at 55 health. Actually going to die now. He cannot save it, and that's just the bread and butter. Oh, he didn't let it die. What a jerk. What an absolute jerk. Anyhow, there's the GG. Highlander does tap out. Says I've had enough. The wall's up, and basically, with all the mistakes that happened by both players in this game, it was still really well played. In the heat of battle, you are going to forget to do things. You're not going to play quite perfectly every single game. A couple of things I would have liked to see better from Hell's side. A little bit more smart with his play. His play didn't really make sense. It's sort of like he was just playing. He wasn't strategically thinking. He was like, okay, I'm going to attack, I've got full pop army, but I'm going to the Mythic Age. It didn't make 100% sense. Like, he could have waited a little bit, got to that Mythic Age, had those resources to get all those upgrades and then make a push, and it would have just been over without any hassle whatsoever. Highlander, on the other hand, I mean, he chose to get that town center up instead of securing a gold mine. He was pressured. He didn't choose to use Ancestor's Eclipse straight away to prevent that push getting up. He was pushed further behind economically, so he couldn't do anything. He then couldn't raid at all because of the nature of Oasis, just a couple of walls you see here and here, and raiding's pretty much useless unless you come around this side, and really there's only 5 villagers sitting there at the moment. And that's now, back in the time when the raids would have happened about 10 minutes ago. So it all came down to that early game where Highlander he couldn't secure that gold mine without using Ancestor's Eclipse, and he reluctantly used it. So my name's Boyd. I hope you enjoyed the cast. I'm gotta say I'm sorry for not posting any videos in a little while. I am really busy with stuff, and I do love doing this. It's just really hard to get a game together because it does take over half an hour for most of them, and then the upload time as well. But again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment, a thumbs up my videos if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.